What's up, everybody? We back with another video. Today, we're gonna be updating our stats breakdown. Alright, man, we got stats pulled up, so excuse the stats on my Susan, man. I was testing out a power slash block slash dunk build on her, and even with like 79 dunk, I believe that's what that is, 38 plus 41, yeah, that's definitely 79. It was not enough to consistently get those dunks on in there. I might have to bump that up even more through the use of my assist characters, man. But you can see I got plus 50 power down there. That's going to be really good on just about anyone. So first thing we're looking at is three-point shot. Pretty self-explanatory, man. This is how accurate you're going to be when you're standing outside the three-point line. So if you're going to be playing a three-point based character, you want to make sure you're getting that up as high as you can. You also want to slap some speed on there so you have more opportunities to get wide open. So mid-range, self-explanatory as well. You're going to be playing inside the mid-range area, especially if you're going to be contested. You want to make sure you get as much mid-range as you can as well, so you can get that extra accuracy to cancel some of that disturbance out. So close shot, this is where things aren't as self-explanatory because it says shooting accuracy under the basket, but the close shot stat also affects your layups. So make sure y'all keep that in mind. You using someone like Kiang or Katiusha or even Albert or May, you want to make sure you put as much close shot on as you can because they have a very hard time getting those layups in there if you do not put a lot of close shot on. But even if you do put a bunch on them, it's very hard to get even more. Like, it's hard for me to touch 120, and I have some really good assist characters. I also have some really good gear. At some point in time, I was still only touching like 112 or 113, so it was very difficult to get close shot inside this game. Next, we're looking at dunk. So this is also not just self-explanatory because it doesn't only affect your success rate. The description says it also affects the success rate of avoiding blocks when dunking. Now my Ben has like 141 or 142 dunk on my Test and Dream account, but if someone contests that, even if it's just a regular big inside of there, they still block it. If you don't have any extra power to help you get those dunks in there, then the second half of this description does not actually matter. So still, this is going to affect your success rate of stealing. It's also going to affect the success rate of you intercepting the ball. So make sure y'all keep that in mind. You want to make sure you get more interceptions. You also want to increase the chance of you stealing the ball. Try to get as much steal as you can. People like Nico, people like Ayumi, people like White, and people like Boa and Justin, those are some really good steal-based characters. If you want to do a lockdown defense build, slap some steal on there, slap some speed on there, you will do just fine. So next, we're looking at dribble. So it says the chance of getting intercepted also slightly affects the speed when dribbling. So you want to get some extra speed while you have the ball in your hand, and you can't get any more speed because you basically put speed on everything else, and there's nothing else for you to get speed from. Slap some dribble on there. You'll be just that much faster. You'll also be harder to rip, and it'll be harder for them to intercept the ball when the ball is being passed to you. Now, I don't understand how the dribble stat affects the person's ability to get intercepted, but if that's how they're going to set it up, man, I will not complain about it. So next we're looking at pass. This is going to affect the chances of your passes being intercepted, and it's also going to affect the extra accuracy you give to your teammates when you pass them the ball. People like White have a really good base pass stat. People like Big O also have a really good base pass stat. White has an even better one though, I believe. I'm not completely sure, but Big O does not get very much pass from himself, so make sure y'all keep that in mind. He doesn't really need it though because of his dunking pass, giving the ball receiver 22% extra accuracy, plus his 60-something base pass stat. You don't have to put any more pass on him. He'll be giving them a bunch of extra accuracy already. So next we're looking at speed. The speed of the character dribbling the ball or moving without the ball. Now obviously, you're going to be much faster when you don't have the ball, but if you have a higher dribble stat, then that speed penalty from you having the ball in your hand is going to be much better than it would if you didn't have a low dribble stat. So next, looking at jump, it says dunking distance, but this also affects the distance you can do a layup. So make sure y'all keep that in mind as well. You want to do those layups and those dunks from very far away. You want to make sure you upgrade your jump to as much as you can. I know LP has a lot of jump on his bend, man. He's dunking from almost at the three-point line. Well, I'm not going to say almost at the three-point line, but halfway to the three-point line. He's dunking from way out there. He definitely catches me off guard, man. So next, we're looking at rebound. It says the range and height of rebounding varies based on the character. So if you're using someone like a shooting guard, if you upgrade your rebound stat, you're still not going to be able to rebound as high as someone like Rocket, as high as someone like Amy or Emma or Vanessa or Sarah, all those really good rebounders, man, even if y'all had the exact same rebound stat, you still wouldn't be able to rebound as high as them. So make sure y'all keep that in mind as well. Her height is extremely low because of the fact that she's a shooting guard. But if you look at someone like Marcus and Martin, they have really good heights. So I'm not really sure, man. You might be able to slap a rebound build on them and see some success. But with their low base rebound stats and the few they're getting from their cells, I don't recommend it unless you just want to have some fun. So next we're looking at block. This is where things get a little bit confusing for a lot of people because a lot of people do not know this. So let's read it. The range of blocking and the physicality when blocking dunks. So when it comes down to the block stat, the second half of that right there is the most important thing I want y'all to take from this. So it says the physicality when blocking dunks. Now the physicality when blocking dunks, that is when you block the dunk early inside the animation while their arm is cocked back. So make sure y'all keep that in mind, man. You got a really high block stat character and you have a low power stat. All that means is that you have to time it better. That does not mean you're not able to actually block their dunks. That just means you require better timing. And if you have a really good power stat to stack on top of that, it's going to help out just that much more, especially if you have bad timing, man, because the power stat, which we will be talking about next, affects your ability to block dunks late inside the animation while they're actually trying to dunk the ball. So make sure y'all keep all this stuff in mind, man, especially everything beyond three-point shot and mid-range shot, because those are self-explanatory, but when it comes down to the close shot, you need to remember that that affects your layups as well. When it comes down to the dunk stat, you need to understand the second half of that barely even matters. When it comes down to the steal stat, just remember, you can also intercept the ball with a higher steal stat more often. The dribble stat is going to affect your speed when you're dribbling. It's also going to decrease the probability of it being intercepted when it's being passed to you, and it's also going to decrease the probability of you getting ripped. The pass stat is going to increase the ball receiver's accuracy and decrease the chance of an interception. Speed, you already know what that does, man. It makes you faster. The jump stat affects your dunks and your layups. It has nothing to do with rebound for some strange reason. I'm not going to complain, though. The rebound stat just simply affects the range that you can rebound from, as well as the height that you can rebound it. The block stat is going to affect your ability to block the ball from further away, or should I say later inside the animation, because that's basically what the block stat affects. You can be able to block it more consistently late inside the animation because it also affects the success rate of blocking shots. And the power stat basically just affects your ability to block dunks late inside the animation. Now, there's a rumor that's going around at the very moment. Well, it's actually been going around for quite some time, but Raccoon Digi did not specify this, and they also did not verify this. So they're saying that the power stat also affects your ability to box out. I'm not completely sure on that, man, but I know for a fact I was playing against a Daisuke earlier, and I had a low power stat on my Sarah at the time before I put her inside of a power and block build, but he was behind me. I had my box out going, and he started boxing me out when I was already boxing him out and I was in front of him. So maybe they may be right. I'm not completely sure, man. In my opinion, it's merely speculation. And until I get some verification, I don't want to say that's actually true, man. So make sure y'all keep all this stuff in mind. That's it. And I'll catch y'all on the next one.